What up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Buckeye BS. The Buckeyes get it done again with a 37-3 win over the Minnesota Gophers. It's your boy Ron James here with my guys Cam and Q. Fellas, how you doing?
Hi, Ron.
What up? What up? We good, man. It's another good
Man,
week.
big shout out to everyone already in the chat, just knowing the boy Ron's a fucking idiot and scheduled the show for 10 p.m. and they knew I meant 10 a.m. and just pulled up, bro. It feels like that scene in Dumb and Dumber when he pulls up to the bar at 10 a.m. and he's sitting there hot because his date didn't show up. And they're like, sure she didn't mean 10 at night? He's like, I just thought she was a raging alcoholic. So, yeah, we're here. We're live. The Buckeyes get it done, and it is officially hate week. But before we get into the team up north, I got to ask you guys about yesterday's game. We said there were a lot of things that we wanted to see from the Buckeyes going into this final week leading up to the game. Do you feel like the Buckeyes showed you what you needed to see in a tune-up game before the team up north?
Go ahead, Cam.
Offensively, I mean, it's been pretty consistent. I mean, the offensive line was moving the line of scrimmage. That shit was awesome to see. Our offensive line, Justin Fry, I say it once again for the third week in a row. We give him shit for recruiting, but our O-line is blocking immaculately right now. Trey Henderson is definitely in November form. He's looking ready to go. Wide receivers looking ready to go. Just 6 is not consistent. So we'll see. He just keeps leaving chicken on the bone, bro. And it's just, I don't know. And the defensive wise, I mean, come on, bro. Our defensive line is flying around. Linebacker play out of still kind of shaky for me. But in the DBs, I feel like everything's firing off on all cylinders where we want to be in November. Just a few key players that are still kind of shaky. So, but overall, I think we look great.
Yeah, man, Ron, we talked about it earlier in the week. We didn't know to call the segment, but I just called it "What the Doctor will order for this team to get us right before the game," and those questions were answered. Emeka Buka getting him ready to go early, man. He looked fast. He looked back, and they got him touches. I look to see more of that in the game because I think Marv is going to deal with double coverage or safety over the top a lot of times next week. So that was definitely in there. I mean, TreVeyon Henderson. It is TreVeyon Henderson. He looks like the best back, one of the best backs in college football right now, if not the best. He looks explosive, looks ready to go. And I think we talked about somebody getting a sack or the edges really taking over. Jack Sawyer with a really good game yesterday. So everything he could have asked for, they've done. So like Cam said, 6 has to be consistent, and we look forward to next week.
Yeah, we can just jump right in there with Kyle. Obviously, it wasn't the explosive performance that everyone wanted, but at the same time, it wasn't bad. I mean, you guys said, it's been consistently meh, average, and I'll take that at this point because at some point, before he had that big game last week and turned it back up, he was on a slide of 2 weeks of having a good amount of turnovers. And that was the one thing that we were giving Kyle a pass on all season was, hey, even if the quarterback play struggles a bit, he's not turning the ball over, and that's all we need him to do with a defense like this. We see him get the turnover issue corrected yesterday. So with no turnovers, were you impressed? Do you think this is enough to get it done next week? Did you see what you needed to see out of Kyle?
I mean, I'll start out. I'll say no. Me and Mike talked about yesterday on Mark Rogers TV in our post game. I feel like those opportunities where receivers are open, like the things you have to have, like the Julian Fleming pass in the end zone where he hit the popcorn man in the 4th row. Like we can't have that next week because those opportunities are going to be well more few and far between with a better secondary and a better defense. So I just feel like those opportunities are the ones you got to have. Obviously, you're going to have incompletions. You're going to have tip balls. Like those things happen, especially when you play better teams. But just the easier opportunities, we got to make the most of them. So I want to see that. Obviously, it's like Mars one-on-one. You got to hit him. You got to have it. So those are the ones I need to see him complete. And if he does that next week, I think we'll be okay.
Minnesota dropped a wide open interception for Kyle that
I did see that. I know what play you're talking about.
I mean, no, he had a couple turnover worthy plays. I mean, it's just the same shit with Kyle, man. Like we saw like when he hit I saw on Minnesota Sports, Zach Smith put it perfectly. He said he does something that quarterback coaches call skip read, which is he'll look if the number one's not there, he'll just skip right through 2 and 3 and not hold the ball long enough and just go straight to the number 4, the check down, which is fine half the time because we have number 32 at running back. But you would see when he hit that crosser to Xavier Johnson that literally Julian Fleming was butt naked in the end zone. Like
I saw that.
I was just like, bro, senior night, bro. Like, get my boy the easy touchdowns. And Fleming
did not walk as a senior today.
Oh, did he not? Oh man. Okay. Well, give my man Father Time a touchdown, bro. Like, he was wide open. And like I'm the most critical of Julian Fleming, bro. But there's been so many times this season where he would look so much better if Kyle would just give him the ball whenever he just absolutely cooks someone. Like, he's either getting strapped up or he's butt naked. There's no in between. So it's like,
bro, if he was at Penn State, I think Julian would be an early day 2 pick. I really do. I feel like there's times for the past 2 seasons, even CJ, what were people screaming? Julian was open during the Team Up North game last year. So, I mean, we didn't get to that point in the reads, but Julian has definitely been open at times in the season. I know we're critical of him, but I agree what you're saying. He definitely is open sometimes. I don't know if Julian will be back this year. I don't know if he will look to get more touches elsewhere, but I think Julian could be a contributor if he was the number 1 target and they were forcibly trying to get him 7 to 8 touches a game.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I mean, you've been hard on Julian as
I have.
Because he was the number 1 receiver. But I mean, he has been open and would look a lot
I'll hold
better.
your ranking to you forever.
Yeah, I'm like, who was ranking him?
But like I said, bro, I'll be waiting for it to happen. Like, bro, I'm going to be telling people about Julian Fleming's high school ranking 6 years into his career and be like, bro, do you know he was the number 1 wide receiver in the country coming out of high school? Like I said, bro, you get one of the designations as the number 1 something or other in high school, I'll believe it until you're bagging groceries. Like, I know it's in there somewhere, bro. It was at one point you were that nigga.
Apparently,
hey, man, I gotta give Ron credit, bro. This man is showing love to every player that come out of Pennsylvania, bro. He is loyal to the soil, bro. If a nigga come from PA, Ron's finding something to be like, this nigga's really a dog. Like, he's really a dog.
Bro, I'm the only one who gets...
On the college football pregame show yesterday, Chris Drew was like, Malik Hooker should have been returning punts. I was like, of course he should have. He's a Whitfield nigga. I was like, who's the best returner in the Big Ten right now? He's like, I don't know. I was like, Daquan Hardy at Penn State, a nigga from Penn Hills, from Pittsburgh.
I'm the only one who gets hate for repping my hometown. Everybody else is just carte blanche on here. I say something about Maryland or Virginia, it's instant hate. I don't know what's going on, bro.
We had Q Hot in the pregame show. He said he's better not be talking crazy about letting bias.
Oh my god, bro!
That was not hot. But I gotta set the record straight.
Holy shit!
So something that we've talked about on this show a lot is Ryan Day teams rounding into form towards the end of the season, and it seems like one thing about Ryan Day's teams is even if they struggle early on, they seem to get better throughout the year. And it seems like the Buckeyes are playing some of their best football right now. We see Cade Stover come back this week and get a touchdown in the red zone. Travion Henderson looks like the best version of himself we've ever seen. And something that has been underrated and missing from this offense that I feel like can take it to the next level, and we saw it this week. Emeka Egbuka finally looks healthy, and we saw something that I feel like has been we need to put it on a milk carton with Matt Weiss because it's been missing this entire season. That seam route from the slot, and to see Kyle make that throw this week to Emeka, and Emeka be the leading receiver this week. I believe he had 5 receptions for 83 yards to lead the team. What do you think that adds to this offense, Cam, having a first-round receiver added to this offense? Because clearly, even when he's been out there this season, he really hasn't been himself. He finally looks healthy. What type of element do you think that adds to the offense?
I think it adds a great element to the offense. But, Ron, I hate to beat a dead horse, but is our quarterback going to make the reads off of number 1 of Marv to hit him in those long development routes, on those drags, on those seam? A seam route was really like a quick. That was like a little like quick read, like, you know what I mean? He's reading if the linebacker's going to sit in that seam, if he's going to come off that play action RPO, and he hit him really quick. I'm talking about the real benefit of Emeka Egbuka is going to be with our real route tree concepts of when Marv's not open, is he going to have the patience to sit there and let the routes develop? That has been an issue. Now, if he does that, then Emeka being great is going to benefit us greatly. But if he doesn't, Emeka could be the Emeka we all know and love and then not be a factor because he's going to throw the check down.
Do you think we need Kyle to be able to make all the throws to beat this team up north? Because the one thing that we've talked about all year, at least me and Chris Drew every week on Bleacher Report, have had a number that we talk about with this defense. It's 17. Can a team score more than 17 points on the Buckeyes? Not a one has done it this season. I do not think the team up north can, but they also have a great defense. Even with some of the deficiencies you've seen from Kyle, I feel like the magic number again on Saturday is 17. Do you think from what you've seen, are you confident in him being able to put up 20, 24, 27 against that defense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And Q, your thoughts on Emeka's return?
Yeah, man, he looks good. Like Cam said, is Kyle going to get off Marv being triple coverage over there? Just like, he's out there and get it to Emeka. We talked about Julian a second ago. These guys will be open. He just has to work his way down the reads and get it to him. So I think we have to utilize Emeka in this game. We know coming in, they're going to be like, we're taking Marv away. They'll probably scheme up Marv, scheme up Cade, and be like, beat us. And Emeka is the guy to do it. Like in the Notre Dame game, he was the guy. We knew how they were going to play Marv. So I think this is, like I said, what the doctor ordered, but Kyle has to get him the ball. And I love the emphasis by Dag, getting him touches, getting him ready. And I think that'll transition into next week. And then
absolutely,
if you ask me what the number was, I think Kyle has to get us to 30 next week to win. I think we will give up in the 20s, maybe the high 20s. I think 30 is the number. I think 31.
Can you tell? All right. Sorry, Ron. I'm gonna get us off.
Go ahead, Cam.
Can you tell me what you're seeing from them to why we give up over 20 or 20 or above to Michigan?
I'm not really afraid of their receivers, but I do think we have gaps in the run game that we are going to give up. Me and Mike talked about it yesterday. I expect Jim Knowles to implement, maybe the game plan he did last year that was like, beat us, pass and beat us. And I don't expect guys to fall down, but I do think we have vulnerabilities in the run game. Like I said, linebackers in coverage all year have been a struggle. I think there's some holes in this defense. Like, this defense is really good, but I don't expect us to be Georgia 1.0 or 2.0. So I was going to just completely shut them down. I expect to give up some points, but not a crazy amount.
All right. Shout out my nigga Gucci.
So I'm having issues, and I know we talked early in the pregame. I don't want to dive too much into the Michigan game this early. I wanted to stick on Minnesota, but the one thing that worries me about Michigan is like not anything that I've seen from this team. And I feel like I'm holding like my issues with last year's teams and teams of past, like my hauntings are sticking with me, because when I watch the film, I have no reason to believe that the Buckeyes won't be able to tackle, won't be gap sound, and won't be stout in the run game, especially against, Blake Corum. But then I think, man, what if we get out there and niggas just aren't tackling? You just start running through our secondary again. Like, bro, I can close my eyes and teleport myself to the bar with Des and Easy last year during that fucking game. And it's just like, is this real life? These niggas just keep running and keep running and keep running. And nothing that I've seen from this defense makes me believe that will happen. And even in years past, I felt like we were lying to ourselves, believing that the defense was getting better, because while it was getting better and the Buckeyes were still winning, it was still on occasion doing the things that we've known it to do as far as giving up the big plays and getting pushed around in the run game. We have not seen any of those deficiencies. We've said the biggest flaw for this defense is giving up the big play. We have had one game this season with a play over 40 yards. And two of the biggest plays of the season were responsible by a player that shouldn't have been put in that position. So, again, I feel like all of these holes have been plugged, but I cannot get those images of them just running through the fucking secondary and arm tackles through my mind. Like, what if they just get out there and forget to tackle? Like, that's my analysis on how could this be bad for our defense. I'm like, unless our defense forgets to tackle, then I think they should be good.
I just don't. I don't know. I just don't see that, bro. Because like I watched too much film of our defense this year. Like last year, we saw the chinks in the armor. We saw the long plays that we gave up against trash teams. We saw Arkansas State cook us in a quick game and give up bullshit to that little 5'5" wide receiver. We saw trends week after week after week after week of us being ass on defense, but our offense was just cooking everybody. So we were like, oh, that's because our defense been on the field this long. But this defense right here, we haven't seen a game where maybe Notre Dame, I guess you could say, week 2, where we felt like we were really vulnerable in the run game. But we've improved since then. I mean, Tyleik Williams is a force in the middle. Hero Kanu is coming along in the middle. Whether you want to believe it or not, Cody Simon is being a force right now in the run game. He's triggering. When is the last time we've seen our Mike backers getting TFLs? We've seen Cody Simon do that for 3 weeks now with the absence of he keeps laughing about Cody Simon.
A little too much sauce, bro. A little too much sauce, bro. He was cooking. He was cooking.
Funny, bro. Go ahead.
Like, bro, I'm just saying, like, I don't understand. I don't understand why, like, you would have a fear of our defense this game. If anything,
that's what I'm saying. I don't understand it.
Yeah,
I don't understand why I have this fear. Like, it's like,
bro, it's a rivalry game. I mean, me and Mike talked about it yesterday. If you would line it up, look, last year I was like, bro, ain't no way we lose to them. Like, I'm looking at these two teams. I'm like, there's no way they're a better team than we are. And then shit just happens. I mean, there's times we've been way better than them and games have been close. You got to factor that in. I mean, Florida State should have beat the hell out of Miami. It's a rivalry game. It's a 7-point game. So things change when you go into the
should
league.
Florida State have beat the hell out of Miami, bro? You've been watching.
They should, bro. Miami is not good.
Like,
no, honestly, I don't want to get derailed here. I want to push back against that. I think Florida State is severely overrated, and I think Miami is super underrated. Miami is one of the most talented teams in the country, and they have so many fucking good players. Honestly, it's a disservice. Like, I was trying to figure out, and I've come to this conclusion, and I don't show this to Miami fans, all right?
No, Gmo ain't in here.
Gmo ain't in here. This is a safe space. This Miami team is really fucking good. I think they're better than their record. I think they're being fucking coached extremely poorly, and I think it's a disservice of what's happening at Miami right now. Because you see Miami, and you look, they beat Texas A&M, they beat Clemson. They shouldn't have lost to Georgia Tech. UNC was fairly close. They only lose to Florida State by a touchdown. They're losing games that they should be winning. They're playing with fucking terrible quarterbacks. TVDs regress. They have the talent. They have the players. That roster should have been a 2-loss team at the worst. And, like, that's crazy to feel like that. And my whole thing was, I was trying to decide, like, is Florida State mid? Is Miami better? I think Miami is a good team that is being poorly coached right now. And, like, they should have a way better record than they do. And if I was a Miami fan, I'd be fucking furious because they thought this was going to be a year where they were ahead of schedule. Next year was supposed to be the third year of Mario, where things really start to click. But they had an opportunity to be a 10-2 team this year, and I think they fucking blew it. And I think that solely falls on the coaching staff.
No, I agree. They're coached terribly, but also every game has been close. They've won games where I'm like, damn, they probably should have lost that. So that UVA game, I thought that was a wrap. I was like, this is a wrap, and motherfucker nails a fucking 55-yard field goal. And I'm like, well, okay, I guess we're going to overtime. And they find a way to pull it out. So, I mean, it's going both ways. Every game's pretty much been close with them, so it can go either way. But I don't think they're a good team. I mean, I think they're talented, but with the coaching aspect, yeah, they got talent, but coaching is part of that.
For sure. I think Mario stinks, though. What about you, Cam? What are your thoughts on the University of Miami program?
Hey, I hate on Miami a lot, bro, but the main thing that people don't talk about is that team is extremely young. Like, all of their key players, Mark Fletcher, who they took out, put us in the locker for, he's extremely productive for them. They got 2 corners out there that are redshirt freshmen and a freshman that are balling. They got a freshman All-American corner.
And then
The
they got Cam
linebacking
Kitchens back there just being that nigga every week.
Ruben Bain is a true freshman. He'd be leading sacks on our team right now, stat wise.
How do you know that stat? That's an interesting stat you know there.
Yeah, because I have a bet with Gmail. So yeah, Ruben Bain's going crazy. So I mean, Miami, I hate to give GMO his flowers, bro, but I mean, if they get their coaching shit together, Miami's gonna be a force to be reckoned with in the next couple of years. No cap.
Yeah. If Mario takes his head out of his ass, I think he's gonna have a good team on his hands, especially with this 12-team playoff too. I thought he was crazy when Gma started saying that he thought Miami would be in the playoffs as soon as they got to a 12-team playoff. But if Mario does some things right in the portal and learns how to coach, could be a problem next year. But before we move on, we have 64 people in here. We have 20 likes on the video. We got to run that up. Get us at least a 40. It helps us a ton. And an announcement. People have been asking for it. The super chats are back. So if you have questions, you got to ask us something, go ahead and send us a super chat. We'll get it up on the screen and go ahead and get to those questions. A question for you guys. We talk every week about enjoying these Saturdays and not being overly critical in the moment and appreciating these wins because we do only get 12 regular season games a year. When did it hit you yesterday that or did it hit you before yesterday? Because when I saw those tweets of Marvin Harrison Jr. walking out of the shoe and they're like, well, that was Mar's last touchdown in the shoe, and Jordan Hancock was like, last game in the shoe, it hit me like, oh my, like we're through the almost entire college football season. The game is here. We have battled an undefeated season. Just your overall thoughts. Were you surprised how fast this season went? And did you enjoy this season leading up to this game?
I am that Buckeye fan right now. No, I don't give a shit about what happened before this season. I mean, before that's led up to this game. Everything was great. The Notre Dame win was cool. Minnesota, whatever. Fuck all that. We've been waiting for this game and to get back to the fucking playoff and win a national goddamn championship. That is what we've been waiting for at Ohio State. So everything else was great. We love talking with it. I love hanging out with y'all, doing this shit every week. But this Saturday and beyond is what we as Ohio State fans, or I as a Ohio State fan, been waiting on all season, bro. But yes, I did enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm with Cam. This season kind of starts now. I mean, obviously for us, it doesn't pass because we're here damn near every day. So we've extended this season as much as we possibly could. And shout out to Chad, they've been here rocking with us. So I mean, we've been here week by week. It's like the Indiana game was forever ago. We've talked so many games since then. But yeah, the season starts now. Season ends for some people about now. This is time where it starts. It's time to go win the Big Ten and go off into the playoffs and try to get a natty.
Yeah, man, I've really enjoyed this season. I feel like I've enjoyed it so much that it went by so fast. Like, I feel like every week I was preaching enjoy these moments, and I do feel like we had some really fun weekends with the Buckeyes this season. I think we did have some fun games. The Notre Dame game was one of the best sporting events that I've watched in some time. The Penn State win was fun. Some of the blowouts, I mean, it sounds funny to say, but even just the excitement of it, this season, so much has gone on. I mean, we had a quarterback battle go 3 weeks into the season. We saw Kyle have that explosion against Western Kentucky, just like the different moments of the season. And I mean, we saw every running back has started a game 1 through 4 this year. Just a lot of cool moments that I feel like through all of the chaos of the Harbaugh investigation, everyone looking forward to the game. I feel like it is fun to look back and reflect and realize there were some really cool moments this season. Our first year doing a podcast weekly, daily, our first season in the media. It's just been a cool year for the Buckeyes. And while it has been frustrating and we feel like we've been saying since the beginning of the year, SNS, sneaky natty season, that we have title hopes. Marv talks about his goals for the season being beat the team up north, play in Indy, win a natty. And all of those are still on the table, but I do feel like even up to this point, we've had a really cool season. And it really hit me during this game yesterday, seeing like the finality of some people's careers and thinking like some of those kids will never play in the shoe again. And you know what I mean? That hit me a little sentimental, but it really showed me how fast this season went. And when I look back and reflected on it, I felt like it was a really fun season despite some of the, back and forth. I mean, multiple civil wars, the quarterbacks, the play CJ Hicks civil war. The Buckeye fans have been at it, and then the Harbaugh investigation came around and united this fan base. So I did just want to touch on the some of the players' last games, and one of the ones that was tweeted out that surprised me was Jordan Hancock, but it was not a surprise to our guy Q. He told us very early in the season that Jordan Hancock would be here for 1 year as a starter. He was one of the first people on it. I mean, Q's had some takes, a lot of takes hit this year. Kyle McCord being the quarterback all year, he called that. He had Jordan Hancock gone after one season. He had what are some of the other ones, Q? I know Josh Proctor Island, bro. You're going to be able to retire when you sell that house after this season. So just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on Jordan Hancock making the jump to the NFL, where you got, obviously Q wasn't, but Cam, were you surprised that he was able to put that much on film this year and perform the way that he did? Such a level up from Tanner McAllister 1 year over.
I mean, no. I mean, I wasn't surprised that he was able to do it, but I mean, I wouldn't have said that he was going to, but good call on Q. I mean, but we didn't really see him play that much, All we had to really go off of was his tape in high school, which was super elite. But with the injuries that he had, as far as with the tearing his calf and the hamstrings and all of that the last couple of years, we didn't know if he was going to get to that potential, and he did. So kudos to Jordan Hancock for getting himself together and the medical staff at Ohio State that was allowing him to come back healthy this year and go change his life and become an NFL football player.
I mean, yeah, man. I just seen the talent from him. Obviously a high-rated prospect coming in, had speed, size, everything. And you would think, man, if he's healthy last season, we win a natty? Like, we probably are one corner away last season from really putting up a trophy. So, but yeah, man, I mean, shout out to him and Tim Bolton. They grinded, got healthy, put in the work. I mean, I knew he could do it. Everybody else didn't. But, hey, Jordan, I had your back, man. I knew what you was going to do. So, I mean, he's making his dreams come true. What can I say?
A great prediction by Q, and I think it's time for a segment that we haven't had on this show in quite some time. Apologies. And I believe we're going to bring up the same name that was brought up the last time we had this segment on the show. And I want to ask you guys, do we apologize now, or is it a wait and see moment with this person? Because this defense has leveled up in a way that I honestly did not expect. Like, not even in my wildest dreams of even this person doing their best job ever. This defense has been spectacular. Him Knowles, my favorite nickname in the Buckeye fandom. It seems like he has really been a Himothy this year with this defense. Another huge performance, only giving up 3 points. And something we've talked about on this platform. What the fuck is up with these kickers in the Big Ten? We have blown so many shutouts because niggas want to come out here and kick 54-yard fucking field goals against us. I'm like, every time I see us give up a shutout, I'm like, man, that shit don't fucking count. Because when it really matters, niggas aren't making 54-yard field goals, especially in late November. So I don't expect to see any of that shit on Saturday. But your thoughts on Jim Knowles? Do we need to wait and see after what we saw in the game last year? Everyone was ready to crown him leading up to that game, and we get gashed because of his aggressiveness and some of the missed tackles that we saw on that defense. But it seems like that was another fix that we saw from this defense, the limiting of the explosive plays. Is it too early to crown Jim Knowles? Do we need to wait and see, or are we ready to apologize and crown him Knowles leading into the game?
I like Cam. Cam, you got it.
Well, you know me. I crowned in the spring the clock.
Yeah, where's your clock at? What's going on with that? The battery's out of it?
Nah, man, that shit stayed at 1 p.m. all season. Like, we ain't hit midnight yet all season, so I gotta give him his P's on that. But this game coming up, I mean, is what really is gonna be what for us as OSU fans, I mean, I think we're losing sight as fans. Like, the goal is to beat Michigan's ass, right? Like, I can say he's great because he schemed the fuck out of Notre Dame and all these other people, and we lose to Michigan. Who gives a fuck, right? So it's like he's got to scheme up JJ McCarthy and Sharon Moore on Saturday for us to give him that stamp of approval, because we know what we know about Michigan's offense. The last couple of weeks since Stallion's ball ended, we've seen JJ's timing on those routes being a little slow. Even though they ran a ball 32 times against Penn State, if you watch the film, they really didn't move the line of scrimmage. It was a lot of bad angles, bad tackles. The 2 of the touchdown runs that Michigan had against Penn State, they had 3 unblocked defenders just being ass. So I don't know. Like, from what I'm seeing, we should go in there and we should sex up their offense. And if we do that, then I'm gonna give him his flowers, and I'm gonna give him all the things that he needs. But I cannot give him or say anything about Jim Knowles until we like, that's just where I'm at with it. We got to go up and scheme at Michigan, because last year we saw, right, we criticized them for doing the 0 blitzes and doing all that shit.
If niggas could tackle it, it would have worked.
Oh, bro, all the calls that he made against Michigan last year hit. It was just we had bums on the outside. So it's like, what happens? What happens if we call that 0 blitz and we get to JJ ASAP, and that's Denzel Burke or Jordan Hancock sitting on that 5-yard out? Is that
not
to
just,
the crib?
Not just
I'm gonna
Denzel
say
Burke.
so it is. Like,
and a lot of people like to put up clips of Denzel Burke and his struggles against Michigan. He did struggle as a true freshman. He's a true freshman. Last year, he was hurt. Denzel Burke is arguably top 3 corner in the country right now.
Yeah.
That's facts.
So I'm just, bro.
You know what I mean? So like, yeah. I don't think that, like, even if Denzel has had struggles in the past against Michigan, if I was a Michigan fan, I wouldn't be counting on taking advantage of Denzel Burke. And while we're talking about corners, did you guys watch Q doesn't watch football? Cam, did you watch the Michigan game?
I've watched that Michigan game 3 times now,
bro. Will Johnson, bro. I watched this. Will Johnson got put on the hub last week yesterday by Maryland's wide receiver. Did you know what play I'm talking about?
Yes,
Where
I do.
Talia just fucking went up top on this man for like 40 yards. Craziness. So it's gonna be interesting to see, bro. And another thing, Chris's guy, Little Mike, he's out there making plays every fucking week for Michigan. Go ahead and put someone named Lil Mike on one of our receivers. Like, we'll see what happens. Like, I'm not worried about someone named Little Mike covering 6'4" Marvin Harrison Jr. or fucking 6'1" Emeka Ibuka, who's 210 pounds. Like, something that we talked about on the postgame show yesterday was that I thought, or pregame show, one of those. We do too many shows. It was one. I said somewhere.
Somewhere was said.
I think they're going to try to be physical with those corners early on in the run game and have our wide receivers put their hands on those corners early in the game next week.
I mean, I've been saying all year, bro. The one thing about Michigan is that they haven't played a team with the capability of a vertical pass game or with athletes on the outside. And little Mikey, with his little tiny little legs, gonna be trying to churn next to Marvin Harrison. Good luck, bro. I just feel like this game, bro. I just wanna, bro. Ryan,
I've given you guys, and I've given you,
bro,
Mike, and Chris, your guys' credit on every platform when someone asked me about this game. That's like, I'm the only one that has watched Michigan this year and been impressed. And niggas, I come back to talk to people, and niggas like, what are you talking about?
Yes, bro.
Like, I don't fucking see it. I'm not watching the same Michigan that you're watching. You and Chris have been adamant that you don't think this game will be close. You're not impressed by their offense. You're not impressed by their skill players.
Let's be honest,
I usually turn on Michigan and come away impressed when I watch that team.
Can we be honest, Ron? Can we be honest, Ron?
Let's hear it.
The only reason why people aren't penciling us in for a natty is because of 6 at quarterback.
Facts.
200. So, disputing that.
No, but so I'm saying, so it's like all this shit with Michigan and all this stuff. It's like they're all predicating on our quarterback being so bad to the point that we're going to lose to Michigan. And I'm like, I guess, like, I could just see a scenario where Ryan Day is literally undressing Jesse Minter, bro. Like taking his shirt off. You know what I'm saying? Untying. You know what I'm saying? Pause. But
I'm like, why can you see this? And have you thought about this?
Bro, I'm just saying, like, I could just see Ryan Day just fucking just like chipping at, like just mixing him on an X's and O's.
Nigga Cam's writing an erotic novel about the game next week.
I could just see Ryan Day mixing up Jesse Minter. Like, I watched Mike Loxley on Saturday call a perfect game and just didn't have the niggas to execute. Like, that double move.
Said, I could have seen Ryan Day stepping over him like Ty Lue, and he said, bro, I could see Ryan Day taking on Jesse Minter's bra on the sideline.
He said, let it ride. He said, let it ride. He said, let it ride. But nah, bro, I just think Ryan Day.
Dad said you've been watching too many Will Smith movies with Q.
Bro. Oh, JJ 0 touchdown passing since no Steins. Bro, I'm just saying, bro. I don't know. Ron, it could be.
Wait, run that stat back one more time.
It's Odyssey 2002 said JJ 0 touchdown passes since no Steins.
That's crazy.
That's crazy stat.
So I'm saying, like, I could just see this game going another way. That's all.
Q, what are your thoughts? I mean, I know you don't watch too much football. How much Michigan have you seen this year?
I just watch movies, bro. I've seen Michigan in a few games. I watched them yesterday. I watched them against Penn State. No, like Cam said, this team is definitely beatable. Like, I'm not running this game like, damn, like, we are in trouble. I'm just like, it's a rivalry game. We know how these things go. But, yeah, I'm with Cam. If you pencil, 6 is really the only reason. I'm like, we should blow these niggas out. Like, if he goes out and dots it up, I can see it really going that way. I'm just like, damn, bro. I talked to Mike yesterday, and I'm like, bro, this offense has literally been a walking 50 ball. And if Kyle wouldn't derail it so much, we should be putting up 50, 60 in so many of these games. Like, guys are open. The offensive line is playing well. You look at the list of playmakers, like, there's no reason this offense shouldn't go out there and put up 40 on anybody in the country. But, I mean, he's found a way to handicap us this far, but Michigan generally does not concern me. I'm more on with you. I don't think they're bad. I think they're a solid, good team. But I'm not going to go over here and say they're not beatable. Like, if we were talking about Jim Knowles earlier, if Michigan goes and puts up 21, 24, we should beat the hell out of them. Like, we really should. So, I mean, that's not crazy. I'm not saying they're going to put up 40 of us because Jim Knowles is going to shut that shit down. So, as long as Kyle puts up a competent performance, I don't really have worries. But my worry is Kyle puts on his best Drew Aller impression. And, like, I'm like, oh, hell, we got 15 and it's the fourth quarter.
Who do you think is the most important player for the Buckeyes in this game coming up that did not play last year? Travion Henderson was out. We've seen a lot of new faces in the secondary. Who do you think is going to make the biggest difference in this game for the Buckeyes that was not on the roster or at least playing last year? Cam?
I mean, the obvious is Trey. You know what I mean? Like, that's the obvious answer.
Is it? I don't know if that's the most obvious one.
Absolutely, it is. If you've been watching Michigan the last 2 weeks, you've seen several runs of a running back getting to that second level and getting tackled by a safety or getting ran down by a lineman. That Travion Henderson is hitting his head on the goalpost after. So I think that Travion Henderson is going to be the obvious biggest impact player that we didn't have last year. But the number one thing, though, Ron and Q, I think that our rotation up front on the D-line is going to be the difference. We don't have Jerron Cage. We don't have fucking Teron Vincent. When fucking Tyleek Williams and Mike Hall come out the game, we're rotating in Ty Hamilton. We're rotating in Hero Canoe. We're rotating in Jaden
McKenzie.
Yeah, we're Kenyatta Jackson. Like, last year, when our starting D-line came out the game, it was just like, okay, I guess. Now it's just like, oh, shit. Got more animals coming out. Like, that's something that they weren't ready for, that we didn't have to our hands last year. So I think our D-line rotation is the one.
And something that me and Chris Drew talked about yesterday was the fact that Larry Johnson has really taken a philosophy pivot with the type of defensive tackles that he's recruiting. Q has been on this forever about stop recruiting these D tackles that are light in the ass. Like, if they're not 300 pounds at 17, nigga, do not bring them to Columbus. Like, get some run stuffers that are at least going to be in the fucking way if they're going to do absolutely nothing. Like, at least take up some damn space. And not only are we getting big belly 300-pounders, your boy Hero Canoe can fucking move out there. So, like, to have these big defensive tackles that we're able to rotate with depth, and then they're just going to keep getting, I mean, we have Jason Moore, more Justin Scott, more and more people coming in. So it'll be interesting to see how this room evolves, but I'm right there with you with that rotation being huge.
Yeah, man. I go back to my take maybe 3 years ago for the 22 class when Kenneth Grant was trying to get into Ohio State class at 6'4", fucking 350 flying around the field, and Larry Johnson's like, nah, I'm good. Now you see him look like a fucking monster on Michigan's D-line. I'm like, the fuck are we doing? Like, yeah, I'm much more happy Larry Johnson has changed his philosophy, but I was like, can I say Tyleek Williams? Because I felt like he didn't play last season in the game. Only about 15 snaps with that defensive line, but most importantly of guys.
Are you laughing at the chat, Kim?
Yeah.
Most importantly of guys who didn't really play. I mean, I'm split between Sonny Styles and Jordan Hampton. I'll take Sonny Styles, but I think, bro.
No, that's the one. Yeah, man, hit that squat rack.
But yeah, I'll go Sonny Styles for a player who didn't play last season. I'm expecting to have a big impact in the game.
They got Mickey Marotti running Kanye.
Sonny Styles didn't play last year?
No.
I think Sonny Styles is going to be the biggest impact player on the defense for us against them, in my opinion.
Yeah, Roddy Hickman played last season. We see where that went.
Cute. So who was your pick as far as the biggest difference maker that wasn't on the field last year?
I'll take Sonny Styles.
I'm going to go with one that I still haven't even seen in the chat, and I thought this would be the obvious one. Davison Igbinosun. Like, we have a corner that can tackle. Whether he's the most thrown at quarterback on Saturday or not, I feel like having that physicality out there is such a game changer.
Yo, I'm sorry.
Bro, this is why you don't let Scotty.
See, I didn't even think that was the one you were laughing at. I was laughing at this one.
I'm saying, that's the one I saw.
I need my D tackles to have round shoes, bro.
Shot is killing me today, bro.
Bro's questionable on Saturday's game. For Saturday's game, they might have to cut his foot off.
Yo, chill. Oh man, a healthy 350, bro.
He said a sexy ramble.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh man, we're gonna have to move this fucking platform to OnlyFans so we can get these fucking tips up.
Oh my god, bro. All right.
Oh, Q, you got anything else?
Oh, no.
Maybe for the numbers, we should both go off cam and just like.
Oh
Q
my god, bro.
Bro, nigga,
nah, bro. Hey, bro, been on
bro.
Q head the whole time. I don't know if y'all peeped it. Y'all gotta go back, bro. He been at Q
Is that not Scotty?
It is Scotty. Bro, you know who that is.
Oh man, on that bullshit early today, but I am completely through the show notes. We didn't get no super chats. They said, "Fuck y'all niggas, I don't even want to ask y'all no questions." But is there anything that you guys want to get to before we get out of here today? Because your boy got 14 hours of gun grinding to do on the duty today. So.
Nah, man. Just for the most part, we made it through the season. It's finally time. We look for this week since last year when we took fucking verbal abuse for 42 hours to get through it. So man, I'm just excited. Like Mike said yesterday, rent's due. So hey man, I'm ready to get it.
What? Super chat's not on. Huh. Oh. I didn't turn it on this morning.
Bro, I guess nobody wants to ask questions. Like, bro. Oh my god. Niggas is killing me today,
shit.
Bro.
Light switch.
Bro, because look. Peek behind the curtain. we're about to start late, right? And I go to start the show, and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't turn the monetization on yet. And I opened it, and I just started the studio and said, good morning, gang, and started the show.
Oh, you never actually hit the button?
No, I never hit the button.
What? You literally held us up for like 3 minutes because you
I was like, yeah, I gotta
hold on.
Bro, that was the main reason we didn't start on time, was to turn that shit on.
I was about to hit play on the show. I was like, wait, I didn't turn monetization on. And I went in there and I seen, well, at least we get to it. It was our guy, Charles Green, who was the first chat in here today. And I said good morning and forgot to turn the super chat.
Charles Green, it's your fault, bro.
Oh, my God.
Shout out to you, bro. Super chats will be back tomorrow morning. Me and Q will be live all week, except for probably Thursday. You're going to probably get a replay because I'm not recording the show on Thanksgiving. But Fans Edge on Wednesday, college football pregame show on Saturday. We all may be pulling up in Akron, so there's going to be some interesting content coming out on Saturday. So make sure that you hit that like button, you subscribe, all of that good shit. Super chats will be back when I'm not a fucking idiot, so stay on the lookout for those. Cam, let the people know where they can find you.
You can find me at I know things 19 on Twitter. I'll be on a Fans Edge every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. I'm definitely going to be pulling up to the pregame show this Saturday. I'm going to be in Columbus though, because I got close family friends and people that do parties for that every year. So, yeah.
Cute. Yeah, and if you want to find me, now hard to find, you can look right down there. Flight Johnson on Instagram. See what Quentin on Twitter. And if you like movies, Minor League Films.
If you want to find me, you can find me on Twitter at 2T's, 2_TES. You can find me on the Best Damn Media YouTube. We're here for the flagship Buckeye BS every Sunday at 10 a.m. The Buckeye Roast, me and Q, every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. The Fans Edge, you can find Cam. You can find me and Chris Drew on the college football pregame show, and we will be on Bleacher Report 2 days this week. I'm not sure which. I haven't looked at the calendar. We're going to be doing an instant reaction for the game on Saturday. Mike and Q will also be on the Voice of College Football Ohio State channel, so be on the lookout for that. Appreciate you guys tuning in for Buckeye BS. I will make sure to have Super Chats back next week, and we will get started on time. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Go Bucks and OH.
Ayo.